They came out to take one of our goats home to keep a lonely mother company. By the driveway where she won't go to the road. I know, the mustache. Bree hates it too. I mean, someone's gonna like it, but Bree hates it. It was actually a hurried job. I showed up at work the other day, took care of some patients with COVID, or I saw that I had some patients who had COVID. And I shaved so I could wear a N95 and get a proper fit. It's pretty much a hack job.
Hi.
You having fun?
Yeah.
She's having a good time. Hey, the other kids are gonna watch some Saturday morning cartoons. Let's pick Mama some flowers and then you can go join them.
Okay.
Here, give this to Mom to put in a jar, okay? So she's right here on the outside of this fence, and I'm just gonna leave her for a few minutes. There's tons of grass up here, tons of clover, and I can see her from between the barns there, so she's okay. Hey, come look at this tiny little willow tree, look here. Here's a willow. It's alive, it's stuck in the ground. And here's another willow cutting that's sprouting out. So far it's alive, probably sending out some little roots.
These are from Dad. And this is from me.
Oh, I like it.
And this is from Dad.
Thank you. Let's find a nice thing to put it.
This.
Okay.
I can fit it in.
You think? Look, I'll put it right into my hair.
The kids are watching their Saturday morning cartoons. It's something we do. They love it. It's a cool little treat tradition for the weekend. I'm uncovering this broccoli and cabbage bed to weed it and harvest some broccoli. I want to leave it uncovered for the smallest amount of time possible. All it would take is one moth getting inside laying eggs and you would have a whole generations of moths, caterpillars laying eggs, living inside. There's plenty of food in there. This is all lamb's quarter. It's also edible, and I think it's delicious. It's something you can add to your salads, and it has a very rich flavor.
These are gorgeous.
You know, I don't really mind the weeds. I would rather not have a bunch of weeds, but it actually adds to your soil fertility through the season if you're weeding and dropping them down. Can we pull it towards you a little harder?
Yep. We have so much to harvest today that I actually will need to freeze broccoli today, and all I keep exclaiming is, "We grew broccoli!" We successfully grew a large amount of broccoli. Now I'm just hoping we can mirror the success this fall, because that's when we'll have even more plants than right now.
You can see the little side shoots you were talking about that become small heads. On this one you already harvested, and
Yeah.
there's a little head developing there.
I would go and cut it. The side shoots, they bolt a lot quicker.
Just drop those leaves right on top of the bed for the worms, right on the dirt. Any leaves.
You put that in the basket.
To keep the broccoli fresh, we're gonna put it in plastic bags and put it straight in the fridge. It's key to keeping your produce fresh. You don't want it to stay warm or dry out, or it'll just wilt and get nasty really fast and won't last as long in the fridge. We have a problem. We have a garden problem. The Colorado potato beetles have hit hard, and these plants are covered with larvae. They're just eating holes in the leaves. They're fat, they're ugly, and they're aggressive. Watch this one right here. Well, they're not aggressive, but they just, look at them. They just like reach up at you. They're all over it and they're gobbling the leaves down. I'm gonna spray these rows with neem oil and try to soak the plants and stop them in their tracks. And then we'll probably need to do it again in about 2 weeks, because we want to have a great potato harvest, and they'll just knock your plants out and make them really weak and kind of sickly. We're going to use 1 ounce per quart. That's 30 milliliters. We'll link some neem oil in the description. Even though the potatoes up here look pretty good, I'm doing all of them just to basically eliminate as many as possible in a day and try to just knock their population down. What you doing?
Pruning tomatoes. No more tomato jungle. Our tomatoes look beautiful now. They were just totally overgrown, and we found that if you vigorously prune your tomatoes, you have way less disease in them. And then also, what is it called? We do single stem, so tomatoes are crazy. They love to grow, and they will send off new growth. There's probably official names for it, but new vines that will just go and go and go. And so what we like to do, and it's so tempting to keep all those new vines, because you'll get more tomatoes. But just like you have to thin your plants, you have to prune your tomatoes. And so I cut off all the new growth. We do single stem, especially because our trellises are so high. We will get a lot of fruit. Since these are indeterminates, they will just keep growing and keep fruiting through the whole season, as long as they don't get disease. And so by vigorously pruning all the suckers, all the new growth, all the new vines, we have more possibility of getting a good harvest by preventing disease through having lots of good airflow, and the sun can really hit all of the leaves and all of the branches. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. It's one of my favorite things to do in the garden, actually, is to prune my tomatoes.
What's another disease prevention rule we have for tomatoes?
Oh, so another reason we prune is we don't want any leaves touching the ground. We prune as high up off the ground as we possibly can. And so you can see no leaves, none of my leaves are touching the ground. I pruned really high. That's over 1 foot off the ground on every single plant. We also never, when we water our tomatoes, we never spray them with the hose. We water at the roots. And that also just prevents blight. And yeah, so doing all these things has in the past given us really great tomato harvests. Not doing them has given us terrible tomato harvests. So it's a lot more work, and in theory you would get less harvest because you're not letting them produce all these new growths and new flowers, but really for us we get a better harvest because we're not allowing disease and things to grow on our plants. If you watch any like professional gardeners, market gardeners on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere like that, you will be shocked at the way their tomato plants look. They look totally barren, and then they'll have these huge clusters of fruit coming off the sides, and there's no leaves except at the top. And that's actually where I learned this method of pruning, was from people like that. Here is my very large pile of prunings. This is just from one row of tomatoes, and I always keep the clippings out of the garden. You know, a lot of times you want to chop and drop, but not with tomatoes. So I always pull these out of the garden. I don't even think we compost them, do we?
They can go in another corner of the garden.
Yeah, we just kind of like put them far away. I feel like last year we bagged them though. But anyway, you just keep them far away from your plants because these will also harbor diseases for your tomato plants.
They get through, they get shocked really hard.
It's because I haven't got a toy.
This is Mike and Sarah, and they came out to take one of our goats home to keep a lonely mother company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind talking about what happened?
Well, we got the mama and the baby goat.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a week ago. Mm-hmm. And a baby, after a couple days, I guess she was eating alfalfa and
She got really bad sick.
her mouth wouldn't open, and
The baby, yeah, she was foaming at the mouth, and
the foaming is what, she was like off in the corner and she was foaming.
Yeah.
What is that? So, we get on Google and we're like, what's,
yeah.
and so
What did Google say about foaming at the mouth?
they said that it was typically from, what was that, the rumula or whatever?
Rumen.
They get
Bloat or choke.
yeah, from eating poison or eating alfalfa. Because I guess for some reason the babies can't have alfalfa, so really only for the moms.
Do you mind continuing the story?
Well, and then she said maybe I wasn't clear that the baby shouldn't be having alfalfa, and I didn't understand. Like, I just thought I'll put it out there, and if she can't eat it, then she won't eat it. But now I know that that's not necessarily the case.
So you think that the baby choked on the alfalfa?
Maybe.
Oh, that poor little bit. That'd be like, so these are their first goats. And if you're a goat owner, or if you're a potential goat owner, you know that having your very first experience with goats, having one die, is basically super traumatizing. So I've been trying to encourage them that, like, animals die on the homestead, and it doesn't have to be the end. Like, just keep going.
It was like losing a family member.
So sad.
It's been so sad milking the mom. Like, that's
Yeah.
what's heartbreaking, is milking her and then putting her back out there by herself. It's
Yeah.
just like, and every time I do it, every single time it's like a new, fresh pain. Like, I just feel sorry for her.
So we decided that we have an extra goat. So we're giving you our grumpy goat.
No, he's nice. He's the ones that kids don't love. We can't give one of the ones the kids
He's
love,
not the
like-
most friendly. But he'll probably, if he gets more attention, because he'll be the only baby, he'll
Yeah.
probably be more friendly.
Yeah, he's not mean or anything.
No,
He's just not the one.
he kind of does his own thing.
He's not the one the kids love.
And his coloring is beautiful.
He is a beautiful
He's a cute
goat.
little goat, yeah.
Okay, so this is how I do it. I get up here.
what you're doing first for a second?
Yeah, so they're new goat owners, and I just thought I would do what friends have done for me in the past and just show them how to trim hooves. Because trimming hooves is really easy, but it can be very intimidating when you've never done it. It's like whenever you overcut your fingernails. So,
I do that.
okay, what you do is you get a good sharp pair of clippers, and then you just cut it off just like a fingernail.
It doesn't hurt at all.
It doesn't hurt, it's just like fingernails. And you just want to get it flat.
Yeah, you have to do it until it's like whitish.
Gum.
Sure.
And you nick them by going too deep.
Just looks like thick skin,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really glad that you're going to be doing that.
Ho, 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 ho.
The one with the horns is the one that you're gonna take.
That toe is kind of extended.
Hmm?
She wants.
She wants to lick it.
Nacho cheese.
You got me wet. I got you. You got me.
We're looking at the eastern phoebe nests in our barn, and this one has eggs in it. You can see on this camera on the phone. You can peek in the top. It just flew in past my head and back out. That's so cool.
They chat constantly if we're in here because they want to come in.
There's a couple more nests over here. We're gonna check these out with the phone and look in them. How many babies do goats have?
Like 2 to 7. There are some Nigerian dwarfs who will have 5, 6, 7. But twins and triplets are the most common, even over singles.
Daddy.
Twins and triplets.
Daddy.
You trying to catch him?
Well, if we named them Hardy, we could change our other goat's name to like Burger King or something.
Hardy's and Vernon.
He's an alpine.
Sometimes
I wonder what an alpine and a...
Well, he's weathered.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
This nest right here, I'm pretty sure has baby birds in it, but we're about to find out. You can see them in there, but you can barely see them. Oh, wow.
So how do I keep back in the dumpster? That dumpster. I think probably.
We're about to make dinner. Arthur has to head off to work. And so this is the end of this video.
I'm working one night shift, a one-off night shift. Pretty excited. It's just the recovery is rough.
Especially on a Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, well, we are having fresh broccoli from the garden tonight, and I've got to hurry up and get that cooked so he can get off to work. And we'll see you guys in the next video.